People addicted to vaping, what was the thing that finally made you quit? I come from a long line of smokers. My father left when I was 5, but from what I heard he was a smoker too. My grandmother passed away from lung cancer when I was just 7 years old. From a very young age my mother always warned me not to pick up smoking, and I listened to her all the way up until I was 15 years old when I got my first girlfriend and she got me hooked on vaping. I would watch my mother rip through a packet of cigarettes daily. Even when she was financially struggling, she found a way to get her hands on a cigarette. While she was smoking, I was in my room hiding my disposable vape from her, slowly destroying my lungs one cherry-flavored hit at a time. My girlfriend eventually dumped me when I was 17, and by this time I was a full-time nicotine addict. I could feel my cardiovascular system getting worse and I could barely run for my morning school bus without collapsing like a blue-haired white girl seeing someone lip-sync the N-word. By 19 I was going through 2 disposable vapes a day and I could feel the effects, having breathing difficulties, all while keeping it a secret from my mother. During this time period, my mother, still on a pack of cigarettes a day, broke through news to me. She had been diagnosed with lung cancer. She had very little to live, maybe 5 months max. This is when reality hit me. This was my food tray if I did not stop, and for the FIRAT time in my life, I put my vape down. However, that did not last long, as the very next day I was back to sucking like Drake's new music. Over the next month, my mother's condition worsened and she cried in my arms, blaming herself so much, wishing she never smoked. Thankful I did not pick up the habit. It broke my heart. She never knew I was destined to end up just like her. I tried quitting a lot. Every week I would put it down, just to pick it up again at the slightest temptation a day later. I spoke to a friend about quitting, and got suggested an alternative. Some people can quit with sheer willpower. I however needed help. He told me that a possible solution would be getting my hands on a caffeine diffuser. This diffuser acted like a vape. I could hit it. However, it does not contain harmful chemicals and contains caffeine, making me more productive and energized throughout my day while providing the dopamine hit that a regular vape would. It sounded way too good to be true, but he let me try his out and it felt great. I decided this could be a potential substitute, and so I went home that night and ordered one from a website called Solstice. My mother's condition was worsening and I knew this would have to be the moment I make the change. It arrived, and every time I had a craving I would take a hit. There were times I was close to relapsing, but each time I pulled through and regained mental strength from the caffeine. It was almost too good to be true. As the months went on, I had not used a regular vape once. It got to a point where I was having cravings less often, and even went a couple days without taking a hit of the caffeine pen at one point. Everything seemed to be going well until I got the phone call, informing me my mother had been hit by an intoxicated driver on her way to the store. My final weeks with her were stolen from me, right before my eyes. I made a vow to her and to myself that I would never touch a vape again, and have kept that promise ever since, the only exception being the caffeine pen when times got rough.